Hey folks, welcome to VerifiedInvesting.com. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Now, in today's video, we're going to look at the S&P chart, both on the near-term daily, but then expand it out going back 20, 30, 40 years. And we're even going to look at the logarithmic scale on the S&P to see what it tells us about a potential stock market top. In addition, I want to check in on oil. I want to check in on the 10-year yield. And we're even going to talk about how the advanced decline has been exceptionally weak. Bitcoin is beginning to roll over in a major way. These all could be signals of a market that is getting tired and getting ready to correct. So let's dive into the charts. We're going to start on the shorter term daily chart on the S&P 500. Let's go right to it. As always, folks, all charts, no BS right here. Okay, so first and foremost, what we're looking at on a near-term basis, on Friday, we saw a great move up in the markets early. We got close to that high. Look at this. Here's your high, right? And look, we came close to it right here. Okay, but we did not take out that high. And so the reason why, as a technician, you pay attention to that is you want to see, are we going to make a higher high or a lower high? Now, listen, come Monday, check that. It's a holiday. Come Tuesday, we could push up above it. Okay, well, then that answers the question. We get a high here and we get a higher high. Markets are still in bull mode. This would be a low, and the idea is, and when we pull back, maybe we make a higher low as well. But let's play out this scenario here. What if we see the markets falling back down? What are we looking for then? Well, then we would have a high, a lower high, and we watch to see, do we end up making a low and a lower low? That would be a change in character on the S&P 500, spelling a kind of a signal that the markets are potentially at a inflection point. Now, a couple signals that I want to make you very aware of that have me concerned over the overall market is, if you look at what's going on with the SpaceX IPO and also the ChatGPT IPO, right? All of these big IPOs, the institutions are rushing them to get them public. So for instance, originally SpaceX was going to debut in, I think it was originally July, then it got moved to late June. Now they've moved it to June 12th. So basically within about 2 to 3 weeks from now, that will go live. Now, institutions, and I've been in the institutional game, guys. Again, you guys know me. I've been in this game for 27 years, and I've traded and I've taught. I've even trained hedge fund traders. What I know about institutions is that they don't like to rush things unless they feel like they need to. They take it very methodical. Everything has its time frame. Dot every I, cross every T. The mere fact that they are rushing to get SpaceX public and now ChatGPT, that is a concern, a major concern, because it's telling you institutions are concerned that there may be not enough money to absorb these IPOs if they wait too long. Right now, the iron is hot. They have to get it out right now or as soon as possible. So those are little things that, again, to me, I'm like a light bulb going off above my head saying, wait a minute, what's going on here? All right, then we flip back and we watch this. Now, we're going to go to a bigger time frame here. Let's go to the monthly chart. Now, the monthly chart, incredible, right? By the way, this was the dot-com move, the dot-com bubble, and the collapse in the S&P. This was the financial run-up, the big expansion in real estate, and the financial crisis. And look at this market. Does that look healthy? And the answer is no. Now, people love it because, of course, they can buy anything and make money. But the question is this the biggest bubble being created in human history? I would argue absolutely. Now, a couple things that in the near term have me a little bit skeptical in terms of whether or not we're going to continue to rally is we flip over to the logarithmic chart. Now, what we see here is, again, when we do logarithmic, for those of you that don't know a logarithmic, it's basically taking it from dollar amounts or point amounts, which over the long term markets tend to go up, so it gets very elongated, versus putting it in percentage terms. And it just makes it a lot, it's giving us a different view essentially, but a very valid view. And again, usually, logarithmic got very popular with crypto because when crypto went up, thousands and thousands of percent in a short amount of time, there's no way to chart that, right? It's just a vertical line straight up. So you have to look at it in different terms. So if we go to this chart, couple things that have me kind of intrigued is if we look at this and we go back to our lows in 87 or even in 82, and we stretch a trend line right here. This is a very intriguing trend line because what we're doing is we're going back to the last time inflation. Remember, inflation in the 80s peaked in basically 1980, right in here. And then this was your first little pivot low. You almost can get it back to this low in 74 as well, 1974. But look at how this logarithmic trend line goes right through the lows in 03, which was the financial crisis low, and then to the high in 2022, the bull market high, and look at where we are right now. Another thing of intrigue here, and again, this one may not be as important, but the 09 financial crisis low, if we drag this up, right through, all right, so it kisses here, but more importantly, this high and this high, look at where we are. And again, listen, I want to be the first to say, listen, this may not matter at all. These are breadcrumbs. Remember, charting is all about probability. So it's essentially becoming the casino. And remember, gamblers come into the casino and they'll win. But if you get 1,000 gamblers to come in that casino, the casino is always going to make money, right? It's a law of probabilities. When you have a big group, you're going to make money. And that's really what technicals are. It's saying, well, anytime specific technicals could fail, but if you do it over and over and over again, the same exact process, you're going to end up making money or winning more than you lose. Very, very interesting stuff. Okay, now we have to flip over to oil here. Now, oil's interesting because it closed below this wedge pattern on Friday. Now, the question I have is, are we going to see a bigger breakdown? Now, over the weekend, all our eyes are watching to see, is there any progress on peace or is there military strikes? I did find it fascinating that the president said he was not going to go to Florida for Don Jr.'s wedding. He was going to stay in Washington. That implies something is going on. And obviously we'll see if anything, or at least there's a possibility of something going on. So that is interesting. Again, could it be a peace process or a peace analysis or possibility? Maybe, but why does he have to stay in Washington for that? Usually it's militarily that you stay in Washington. Now we'll find out obviously by Tuesday when the markets reopen, but it is interesting to see, at least to me, that's a signal that there is military action on the docket potentially. Now, if we look at this chart, we can see, well, we closed below, but you haven't confirmed yet. So we have to watch and see if oil confirms. Now, you have to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is getting smoked the last 2 weeks. Now, historically, the reason why this is important for the stock market, I mean, this isn't a Bitcoin video, this is specific to the stock market, is that Bitcoin has notoriously been a leading indicator. Now, you might say, well, why the heck would Bitcoin be a leading indicator? Well, because it's the first area of de-risking that occurs. So if you look at the markets and you say all asset classes, well, what's generally been viewed as the highest risk? Crypto. So when people de-risk and institutions de-risk, they're going to de-risk in crypto first. Then they want to stay in kind of the large cap tech and, you know, those bigger players, but eventually it'll spread into that area as well. You also can't deny that gold and silver have not been acting normally here, right? So if we look at gold generally, if you look at from this bull move, gold generally goes up when the markets go up and comes down. It's just been acting more like a risk asset. Well, Friday, the stock market was up and gold was down. And look at how gold has slowly moved lower while the stock market has stayed at highs. That's an interesting little aspect. In addition, silver, same thing. Silver's actually broken here. It's an unconfirmed breakdown, but that would be a concern as well. So essentially what we're compiling here is that everything but the stock market, and specifically within the stock market, a few handful of stocks are already rolling over. All right, now what do I mean by a handful of stocks? Well, if we flip back here and we take a look, we go to the NVIDIA chart. Now, NVIDIA was ripping, and then all of a sudden, a lot of weakness. Now, part of that is going into earnings, but again, they fell on earnings. They fell again on Friday. Okay, so this was a leader. It is now no longer leading. Walmart was a leader. Look at this move. Biggest play in the trade down effect of e-commerce or commerce in general and retail sales. And all of a sudden, Walmart's saying, uh-oh, something's going on here. Even for people that can't afford the higher end stores, they're going to Walmart, but now even they're spending less money. So you see some of the leaders, the big players, the $5.5 trillion NVIDIA over basically a $1 trillion Walmart. These are now starting to stumble. If you look at the advanced decline line, so how many stocks are going up to down, it's been notoriously shockingly weak, even in spite of the fact that the stock market's making new all-time highs. Like you should see, with the stock market making daily all-time highs, it should be like a ton of gainers, very few losers. It's not been like that. It's more been even. So it's telling you that the underlying equal weight is not performing as well. And then lastly, and this is really, really key, guys, what we're starting to see is 52-week lows are starting to grow. Even though markets are at all-time highs, there's a surprisingly large amount of 52-week lows and a waning amount of 52-week highs. All right, now why is that? What is that telling us? Well, it tells us that the leaders that are grinding this market up are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's shrinking. And it's telling, these are the types of signals that I want us to pay attention to. All right, guys. All right, before I give you my roundup thoughts, and this is going to be big, I do want to just mention that this video is sponsored by Rumble. Rumble Wallet is the place to go, guys. Can't tell you that or stress that enough. It is absolutely rock star status. You can buy, sell crypto in there. You can also buy gold in there. I love that I have that ability to buy gold as well as crypto, buy and sell it cheaply. Wallet is secure. Again, very cool. I got the app right here on my phone. And again, I would just say check it out. They're a sponsor. They're basically doing to me, they're supporting me to be able to produce these videos even on a Saturday or Sunday or on holidays for you guys. And I appreciate them to the ends of the earth. And again, I would just say, listen, you know, no one likes to necessarily have sponsors, but a sponsor that's doing things that are right for people, that's allowing me to talk to you guys and give you guys these insights, it's worth checking out. So click on the link in the comments or in the summary below in the description. Check them out. You can decide if you want to download it or not, but the Rumble Wallet to me is the place to go. All right, final thoughts, guys. Markets continue to stay strong. There's no denying that. Semis have been leading. They are up massively. The AI trade seems unstoppable, but the institutions are telling us things. They're rushing the SpaceX IPO, the ChatGPT IPO. Remember Cerebras? That was the latest, hottest thing in the semis. Look at this chart. That's the weekly. Is that a good chart? IPO debuted here. Look at it. To me, that's not good. And by the way, don't think the institutions with SpaceX and ChatGPT aren't seeing that. They are absolutely seeing it. So there are cracks emerging. NVIDIA is now lagging. Walmart's lagging. Something's going on here. Let's watch in the near term whether or not we make a new high or not, and do we make a lower low, and let's watch those longer term logarithmic charts. You guys have a great rest of your day and weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.